Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing tonight? Are we glad to be here? That's right. Welcome to Logan Circle. Welcome to Laughing in Logan. We are so glad that you have joined us. My name is Brian Jenkins. I'm the Executive Director of the Armed Services Arts Partnership, or ASAP. We are so glad that you have joined us for the show this evening. This show is co-hosted by ASAP and also the DC Writer Salon, which is a community for writers located in DuPont and right now is online. So please do check out ASAP at asapasap.org. And please also check out the DC Writer Salon if you are a writer. They are a growing community in DuPont and would love to have you as part of their community. We have an awesome show for you tonight. We have some very, very talented veteran comedians who have graduated from ASAP's Comedy Bootcamp or who instruct ASAP's Comedy Bootcamp. You guys are going to laugh a lot, and we have a really terrific lineup for you. One thing that makes this show a little bit more special is that ASAP is running a campaign right now called the What's Next campaign. Can I get everybody to say what's next? Let's say it again. What's next? Right now, ASAP is in the middle of a week-long campaign to raise $150,000, and we are going to do it. We are going to meet our goal. Right now, we're at about $120,000. This show today is free. We're very, very happy for it to be free, and if you just want to hang out and laugh and enjoy it, that is awesome, and we welcome you to do that. At the same time, we would love it if you would be willing to make a small contribution to ASAP during this show or after the show if you had a good time. Does everybody have one of these cards? Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so QR codes went out of style about 15 years ago, but there's this little thing called the COVID pandemic that has brought them back in. And you can just use your camera on your phone to scan this QR code, and it's going to take you right to the What's Next page if you want to make a donation. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that right on this card is a QR code that you can make a donation if you want to today to the What's Next campaign for ASAP so we can reach our $150,000 goal. The reason why we're raising $150,000, and I swear I will be done and then you guys will be able to laugh in just a minute. The reason why we're raising $150,000 is because we want to be able to serve veterans across the country next year. We want to serve more than 500 veterans with our arts classes, comedy, improv, storytelling, acting, drawing, painting, so much more. There are a lot of options, and we want to do that for 500 veterans next year. So we want to welcome you to join us with a donation if you're able today. But with that, I will get out of the way and we can get on to the laughs. I have the pleasure of introducing your MC for the evening. He is a hilarious guy. He is our honorary Coast Guard veteran in the ASAP community. He's an actual veteran. He's a Coast Guard veteran. Yeah. Well, he's actually a service member. He's active duty. That's right. So please welcome to the stage. He is a hilarious comedian. His name is Noah Miller.
How we doing, guys? How's it going? A little bit louder. How's it going, Logan Circle? How we doing? There we go. It still wasn't that great, but that's okay. You're going to improve. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is going to be an awesome show. This is actually the largest gathering in DC today. So, yeah, that is, don't fact check me on that. That's true. And it wouldn't be possible without all the ASAP, the people who work for ASAP and the volunteers. Give them a round of applause as well. Very happy to be out here doing this. Like Brian mentioned so eloquently, I am a Coast Guard veteran, active duty member, whatever. The other guy is on duty tonight, so don't worry. Coast is still guarded, guys. Don't worry about that. The Coast Guard is in a tough competition right now with the Space Force for the most obscure service, and it's a tight race. We're neck and neck. We know where we stand, though. We know in the Coast Guard we don't get the same respect as the other services. Sometimes we don't get paid. But it's okay. I'm glad I joined still, because what we do get is a 10% discount at Home Depot. And that's what it's really all about, guys. That's why we serve. I know what you're thinking, but what about Lowe's? Yeah, Lowe's too. So it's a good deal. And it's the same discount as all the other services. We are all equal in the eyes of the home improvement stores. So, and that's progressive. That is progressive. I remember when I was first joining the Coast Guard, somebody tried to like roast me. He's like, "Oh, the Coast Guard, isn't that just the gay Navy?" This is when homophobia was super funny. You guys remember that? It was hysterical. I was fine with it, but I was like, wait a minute, gay Navy, isn't that like redundant? We've all seen The Village, people. That guy wasn't in the Coast Guard. I mean, come on. It's just let's represent it accurately. It's fine. I can actually make fun of the Navy, though. My dad is gay, so I hope he's not watching. Yeah. Anyway, we have a branding problem in the Coast Guard. That's our biggest issue. We do cool things, but we don't advertise it very well. If you think of like the Army's got Special Forces, or the Navy's got the SEALs. In the Coast Guard, we put people cleaning up oil spills on our recruiting posters. It's a terrible selling point. In the Marine Corps, you can fly a plane that in midair turns into a helicopter, right? It's called an Osprey. It's so cool. And meanwhile, the Coast Guard's like, hey, you can clean oil off of a bird, and that bird might be an osprey. Are you interested? Did we get you? We need to stick to our message. Like, join the Coast Guard. We won't send you to Afghanistan, all right? Somebody needs to look after Key West. I had one of the hardest jobs, I think, that you can have in the Coast Guard. For a short time, I was giving financial advice to junior enlisted members. It's a very difficult job. These are like 17, 18-year-olds that just come out of high school, and all of a sudden they get a paycheck, and they do dumb things with it. And by the way, I have no qualifications to give financial advice to anybody. Like, I've invested in Bitcoin. I shouldn't be doing this. But I did have a very attractive quality that the military loves. I was available. So that's really why I had that job. And I would try to explain to people, like, no, 20% isn't a good interest rate on a car loan. I know it sounds low, but it actually isn't that low, unless you want to live in that thing. I would have nightmares every time that Chevy released a new Camaro. I'd be like, here we go again. This isn't going to work out well. But my favorite conversation I had was I was talking to a guy one time, and the news was on in the background, and it was the lottery. The lottery had just reached $900 million, and nobody had won yet. And it was still going up. And the guy looks at me. He's like, man, if that thing goes over $1 billion, I'm getting a ticket. Yeah, I like that. I like his train of thought. In his mind, he's thinking $900 million, that's not worth my time. But $1 billion, I could really do something with $1 billion. 900 million after taxes, what is that, like 20 bucks? I'm not going to the gas station for that. I have a different job now, thankfully. Every day I have to know where the flag goes on the flagpole. I don't have a very hard job. That's what your tax dollars are paying for. Thank you. No, I mean there's a little bit to it. Like, the flag can be all the way at the flagpole. Sure, it can also just be halfway up. It's very dynamic in that sense, and I have to keep track of it. We put it halfway up for half-masting. I don't really like that as a system. I think it's sort of pessimistic. I actually wish we did the exact opposite. I wish we always flew the flag at half-mast and only put it all the way up when good things have happened. I think that would be the fun way to do it. You go by the flag, it's all the way up. You're like, oh my God, what happened? It's like, oh, you didn't hear? The iPhone debuted 20 years ago. Isn't that incredible? It's National Donut Day. Go on down to Krispy Kreme, buy one, get one. It's a miracle. The Coast Guard, we're in this little sort of weird realm in that we're not part of the Department of Defense. We're the Department of Homeland Security, Still in the military though, so like depending on the situation, I'll remind people of that. Like if we're talking about going to war, I don't usually mention it. But if we're talking about like a free burger at Applebee's, then yeah, I'm in the military, all right? Give me that burger. And the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, they play a very important role in your lives, whether you know it or not. They are the authors of the See Something, Say Something campaign. See those signs all over town. They actually patented that. If you didn't know, this is true. They patented See Something, Say Something. Like, wait a minute. See Something, say. That is really good writing. We need to lock this down. And these signs are all over the city, all over every city in the country. And my favorite one, you can see it in the metro here. It's a picture of a guy, and he is standing over the scariest thing that the Department of Homeland Security could imagine. It's an unattended bag. I'm sorry for the frightening visual, but I just had to describe it. And the caption on this sign is, the bag is never going to be full of money. See something, say something. Which I really like, because it's basically reminding you that, hey, not only do people try and blow up the subway, but good things don't happen to you. You're not the type of person that finds bags full of money. This one's probably a bomb. Why don't you go find an adult? Are you guys ready to get this show moving? We have a lot of great performers tonight. There's going to be like a really short transition time while I wipe off the mic. So once I wipe off the mic after the intro, just go crazy for your next performer to come up. She is an Army vet and a recent graduate of the ASAP Comedy Boot Camp. Right after I wipe off the mic, give it up for Jeanette Mendy.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here, and there is nothing wrong with the audio. I really am a grown-ass black woman with a little white girl voice. This voice has caused some confusion. One time, I got a job after a telephone interview, and my new boss kept staring at me when I walked into the office. He never said, but I think he expected somebody a little less colorful. So I started wearing just black and white clothes to work every day. On jury duty, my voice got more attention than the accused. And she was on trial for murder. This guy at college one day, he told me I assimilated well to the United States and asked me what country I'm from. What? I'm from the country of New York City. I don't know why some think black people don't come from the United States. No lie. A few weeks ago, I was on a plane to Aruba. The guy next to me looked at me and said, "Are you going home?" So I said, "You do know all black people don't come from an island, right?" He almost had a heart attack when I spoke English without an accent. I actually did have a heart attack a few years ago. And now I have a device in my heart that will shock me if my heart rate fluctuates. It has really improved my quality of life. Like now, when I go to games and concerts, I don't have to go through the metal detector. So I can sneak my flask in with no problems. And it really saves me time at work. When my boss's meetings go too long, I just grab my chest where my device is and run out of the room. It works every time. And the doctors told me that if I'm having sex and my device goes off, my partner will get shocked too. Sadly, I'm single and looking right now, but that guy is gonna think I'm electrifying. Sorry, I feel a hot flash coming on. I get hot flashes so hot that I can melt all the makeup off all 5 Kardashian sisters at the same time. Sometimes my flashes are so hot, so much steam comes off my body that I can fog up the windows in my car, which was really embarrassing at a time. A cop thought I was having sex in the Walmart parking lot. He was so disappointed to find me in the car all by myself, and I thought, Me too, Mr. Policeman. Me too. Sometimes I get so hot that I strip all of the clothes off, and that's how my coworkers found out my bra doesn't always match my panties. So now, when I buy underwear, I just don't wear any to work. And I do work a lot. I have my real job and my volunteer job as a condo board president. I cannot believe that I lasted as president for 7 years without throat punching somebody. Dealing with condo board owners is really, really challenging. One angry owner, he told me that I was monumentally stupid one night at a meeting. Being called stupid stunned me for a moment, but then I really thought about it. I did volunteer to be the condo board president. But the worst are the owners who ambush me in the cereal aisle at the supermarket. They will complain for 15 minutes that our blue curtains in the lobby are not blue enough. I order all my groceries online now. You'd think I'd know better than to volunteer for something after being in the Army. But the military was actually really good for me. I learned responsibility, how to work with all different kinds of people, and how to run 5 miles in the morning still drunk from partying the night before. I can fire a 50 caliber machine gun, and I can throw a grenade. Not much use in my office job now, but that sure does scare some of the condo owners. I also picked up some really interesting language skills that are quite useful. I can use Spanish, Korean, and German to ask a guy if he's single, has a job, lives in his mother's basement, or wants to be electrified while having sex. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. I'm Mendy.
One more time, give it up. As we have so many great performers. The next one, he is actually a comedy boot camp instructor for ASAP. He does a Clean AF comedy show on Fridays at 6 and a new show on iTunes that I've already forgotten the name of. It's called Winging It. It's a new comedy game show. You can see it there. I'm going to try and subtly clean the mic off while I bring up your next performer, a good friend of mine. Give it up for Mr. Dwayne White.
What's up, Logan Circle? Dang. We're here. We're together. We're on some kind of streaming thing. That's awesome. I'm getting off this thing. I feel like I'm doing aerobics. This isn't cool. The election's over. Right? I don't know. I got a sticker. That's all I know. I got a sticker. It's the greatest thing that's going to come out of this. I don't know. I want to tell you guys this, a little fun thing you can do. I did it this year. I got a little trouble. You can get like 100 of those stickers for like $5 online. And then you put like 5 or 6 of them on your jacket, and you go vote in person. Yeah. It's so much fun. People lose their freaking minds, man. It's great because it's like that's proof of voter fraud. No, that's proof I have Amazon Prime, dude. That's all that proves, man. It's awesome. I just celebrated, my wife and I just celebrated our 22nd wedding anniversary. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 22 years, man. In a row. That's an important part of the stat. That is for real. Because we've all got that one relative. It's like, I've been married for 40 years. That's right, Aunt Becky, but there was a break in between. It's not fair. I like to give marriage tips because I've been married so long. Here's one I learned. Well, first of all, I learned that I've been saying the wrong number of years on stage for an entire year. I walked up to my wife right before our anniversary, and I was like, "Can you believe it's going to be 23 years tomorrow?" She's like, "Can you believe how bad you are at math?" We got married in 1998. Oh, that's easy math. That's not even tough. You know, I was like, so here's a little marriage tip for you. You're not supposed to say feels like longer to that. Just a little tip. My wife's pretty cool. She's from Germany. A little souvenir I picked up when I was in the Army. Oh. They like it when you call them a souvenir. It's cool. It's fine. Used to be a war trophy, but apparently, like, that's not. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like that one. I'm like, if you won, you could call me a trophy. That's fine, but you guys didn't win. So it's cool. I love being married to a foreigner. I think it's awesome. Not everybody thinks it's good, though. I actually had a dude walk up to me after a show in January, and he's like, dude, how could you marry a freaking foreigner? What? Like, like, I didn't know how to react. Like, I'm not going to put up a crap like that. It's like, it's 2020, man. You find someone you like, you fall in love, move them to your cart. Yeah. Select the shipping option. Go for air. Go for air. It's fast. It's more expensive for sure, but you don't know how many holes are poked in the box. You don't have a clue. You don't know. Oh man, she's cool. The thing, I'll tell you this though, the thing that threw me about that one was usually people that are that anti-immigrant are usually really pro-Germany. You know what I mean? They show up in droves, man. It's fine. It's cool. We got married, actually. We got married in Germany. And, well, if I'm 100% honest, like, we had to get married. Fun fact, when you're in the Army and you leave Germany on your second tour, you're required by international law to bring home either a wife or a cuckoo clock. That's just the deal, man. But I give her a lot of grief. I do. I give her a lot of grief. But she's here tonight. I just want to say this in front of all of you. She is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. By far, best decision I ever made in my life. By far, yeah. Yeah, okay, you guys can clap or screw marriage. That's fine, whatever, that's fine. No, she is. She's the greatest decision ever. Because you can't have sex with a clock. And I think that's my message. That's my message to you. Okay, you can, but like with a cuckoo clock, dude, timing is extremely important, am I right? You know? There's a dude with an axe and a saw. Just be careful at the top of the hour is really what I'm getting at. But no, she is awesome. She actually works. She's the newest member of the ASAP staff, so she works for these guys now, which is really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. She puts performances and stuff like this together, so it's cool. But it's I don't know. It's okay. But one of her jobs is to like monitor us to make sure that we are following content guidelines, so we're not saying things going to offend anybody or use any bad words. So ASAP literally has a joke Nazi now, which is kind of weird, I think. Seems a little strange. I'll tell you guys, I've been backing on Germany this whole time. I'll tell you guys my favorite Germany story before I get out of here. I had just gotten there. I'm like, it's like 1994. I just get to Germany, and we're getting ready to go do training. I'm like excited. It's like, where are we going, guys? What are we doing? I said, well, we don't have the facilities here, so we have to go to the German base to do gas chamber training. Yeah, you heard it right. Absolutely. Yeah. And here's the deal. I told you, it's 1994. They picked us up at the base theater. Schindler's List was literally playing at the theater. Like, they knew. That's my point. Like, they knew what we were doing. Somebody made a decision there. But we get to the German base, and I'm a smart-ass, dude. I cannot let this stuff go. We get to the German base. This big German dude comes out. I was like, does anyone have any questions before you go in our chamber? I'm like, yes. Sorry. Yes. Like, nobody else sees a problem with this? Like, nobody's got an issue? It's like, wait, what are you doing? Shut up. It's like, dude, do you guys not have the History Channel over here? Why are we going in their chamber, dude? We won. Twice, man. It's like, I'll just be over here, like, shopping for souvenirs. That's cool. Hey, guys, my name is Dwayne White. It's been an absolute blast. Thanks for coming out. Give it up for Noah Miller, everybody.
One more time for Dwayne, everybody. One more time for Dwayne. He's going to get yelled at so much by his wife tonight. It's going to be great. I just want to make a real quick plug. You guys have probably seen these laying around. If you're not, there's some on the table. Talking about the QR code again, you can scan the QR code, learn more about ASAP, possibly donate to the show. If you're my parents' age, just ask your kids to scan the QR code for you, and you should be able to get in there just fine. We have a lot more great performers. Your next one, another Army veteran. We have more than Army veterans. I just like to put them in the first half of the show so that you can understand the second half of the show. She is hysterical, a true crime fan, self-proclaimed honey badger. Give it up for Meg Krause.
Woo! Wow, thanks, Noah. I just want to point out that you acknowledged that only the Army folks at the front of the show were the veterans and not the Coast Guard host of the evening. Glad we got that one on record with the Facebook live streaming. Real glad. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. DC? Most powerful city in the free world-ish these days? Yeah, that wasn't funny. You're right. It's not even funny at this point. We are where we are. So, hey, listen, Noah mentioned it. Yes, I'm an Army veteran. One of the great parts about my service was that for a period of time, I had the distinct pleasure of being the only woman on a remote operating base in northern Iraq with about 150 Army infantry dudes, which is not the dream vacation you're thinking, ladies. No, it was cool for about 2 months, and then all of our periods synced. I mean, you've heard of man flu, right? It's like that, but 15 times worse. Our commander actually had a really difficult time figuring out what to do with the whole Mean Girls 2 thing that we had going on. And then all of a sudden he realized there was 1 week a month when he could send us out on the worst missions possible, and we would literally kill it. Like, kill it. I have become completely convinced that we would have gotten bin Laden so much faster if we had just thrown 50 PMSing women into those mountains and put enough chocolate in the MREs. Seriously, who needs waterboarding? We're literally just gonna nag the shit out of you. Like. Speaking of nagging, how y'all doing at home these days? Locked in the house? Anyone getting on your nerves? You know if there isn't, then you're the one getting on someone else's nerves, right? Yeah, but no, things are great at home for me. With the sole exception of the one time, I have never been so comfortable with the idea of going to jail as when my boyfriend chose the same time I was on the 15th Zoom call of the day to eat an entire family-sized bag of Doritos. The noise swarmed the house like a horde of 10,000 murder hornets, and I lost my goddamn mind. And I know you're all laughing because you appreciate what this means. You've been there, you've done that. But we're really talking about escalation beyond reality at this point over a bag of chips. And I think this is sort of where we're at in 2020. On the plus side, farts are okay in our house now, which has been more freeing than the day I burned the bras and the Spanx, which was also a really great outcome from 2020. If anyone was wondering, you should do it if you haven't yet. Farts, cool. Apparently, he still doesn't know that women poop. We're working on that. I'm pretty sure this is part of the wave of refusal to accept reality that seems to be taking over the country these days. Someday. God, I love a good fart joke, no? Maybe you're just laughing behind your masks. I have a particular appreciation, though, because of some unfortunate medical history. Pro tip, don't let a doctor accidentally puncture a hole in your colon. Yeah, I know. It's comedy, though, so you can laugh, I promise. I'm cool with it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm telling you. Doctor punctures a hole in your colon, it will result in a man-made butthole getting put right here in the side of your stomach with a plastic bag slapped over it that you just poop into like a self-service dog. Let me tell you, you have not lived life until you have felt yourself fart out of a hole in the side of your stomach. For a good 6 months, I was the most twisted Pillsbury Doughboy you would have ever found. Woohoo! Oh, man. Oh, man. Are we there yet? Yeah, we're close. We're close. Listen, they invited me up here to tell my crappy jokes, not because I'm funny, but because I am on the chair of the ASAP. I'm a chair of the board of directors for ASAP. It's literally one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my entire life, aside from that whole military service thing, which, you know, we're sort of over at this point. For those of you who are watching at home, for those of you who are here, if the QR code scares you the way Noah has made it out to be, I'm really only up here to ask you for money, not to tell my jokes. You can also text Give ASAP. Hold on, Brian, what's the number? 44321. If you're not down with the QR code, you don't want to go to asap.org, you can also donate to us today. Please, please support the veterans and the great work of this organization. Text Give ASAP to 44321. That's it for me tonight, guys. Noah's coming back up to wipe this off. Thanks so much for supporting us. It's the most awkward I've ever done that.
One more time for Meg, everybody, one more time. We really do appreciate the support. I know there's no bathrooms in this park. Sorry about that. People have been known to pee here, though, so I don't know. If you want to risk it, you're welcome to. Your next performer, he is another good friend of mine. He is very funny and a Navy veteran who actually now works in the Coast Guard building. He finally saw the light. Please give it up. Oh, and thank you to all the folks here and online. He always brings a good crowd. Give it up for Mr. Kelsey Storr.
Excuse me, I have to practice safe sets, so hold on one second. It's a joke, you're supposed to laugh. Good evening. My name is Kelsey Storr, and I know that when you heard Kelsey, other than the fact that he said he's a talented guy, but you heard Kelsey, I know you were thinking about 5'3", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, beach bunny. Yeah, it ain't that kind of party. So what you're gonna get, it's about 6 feet tall, bald, beautiful, wait for it, built for comfort, black man. Take it all in, I'll wait. So when you have a name like Kelsey, sometimes people don't know exactly who you are. They're not sure who you are, but they think that you're a female. Now, I went back and I read up on my name. In the 16th century, Kelsey meant river ship. In 1963, it was a boy's name. In 2020, it means I kept the name after the surgery. So you can blame my parents for that, okay? Speaking of my parents are serial matrimonialists. Between my mother and my father, my sisters and myself, we have 11 marriages. I'll wait. So, another thing that's going on lately is that, I don't know if y'all know about this, but there's this COVID thing going on. And so everybody's had to kind of go inside. And one of the things that has also happened is you've had the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, we don't get political here, not at all. But I need to explain a couple things to you because I care. This is my civic duty. I decided that I needed to get involved in the struggle. I needed to get involved in the cause. Why? Because my 23-year-old African, that means my biracial child that I'm responsible for, I have 3 of them, so that's 1.5 black people, told me that I needed to get in the fight. I needed to get in the struggle. So I went to a rally out in Prince William County. And I went to a march, okay? And when I got there, you know, you have all the speakers, and they're doing all their stuff, and they're talking, and they're talking, and they're talking, and that's great. So you had black people there, you had Hispanic people there, you had Asian people there, you had the WWF there. Now, that's not the World Wildlife Fund. That's not even worldwide, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. No, no, no. That's woke white folks. There is nothing crazier than seeing a grandma from Burke talking about some Black Lives Matter with her hands up in the air, singing that lift every voice and sing. So that's the environment that I was dealing with. But I'm standing there and I'm taking it all in and life is good and I'm listening to the speeches and I'm inspired. And they said, now we're gonna go for a march. And the march is like 3 miles long. Okay, so we march uphill, and we march downhill, and we march uphill again. And the whole time that we're marching, I can tell you right now, my inner blackness was strong. It was deep. It was spiritual. It sounded like James Earl Jones in my head. And I marched the 3 miles, and everything was cool, and I felt good about myself. I felt good about myself right up until I woke up the next morning, when I had torn the meniscus in my right knee, and that voice that had been James Earl Jones was now Gilbert Gottfried. And all hell had broken loose. So I thought about it. I'm a reasonable man. So I sat there for a while and I said, what can we do better? How can we clean this up? I got it. I'm going to protest age appropriately. For those of you that don't know it, if you're 50 plus, age appropriately means this: write a check. If it's for Black Lives Matter, write your check in black ink. March your check to the mailbox with your hand in the air singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, and feeling awfully good about yourself because you are in the struggle. That's what it's all about. Public service notice. If you've noticed, it is fall. It is cooler. Newsflash, white folks, black folks we ain't protesting no more, it's cold. So what we need you all to do in the winter months is take the struggle over. Y'all do the protesting, y'all do the marching. We'll leave a couple of black folks behind so you know what the agenda is, and we'll be back at daylight savings time. I don't think that's too much to ask. Now, another thing that has happened during COVID is television. There's nothing else to do. You can't go anywhere, so I've watched a lot of television. And in watching television, here's what I have learned. I've learned that I'm filled with grievance. My first grievance, Sarah McLachlan. If I hear about another dog, I'm going to shoot myself, and I own a dog. In fact, I got a dog during COVID. My new dog's name is Molly. Now, you might ask, why is my dog named Molly? Because Percocet's too hard to say. But I'm tired of her, I'm tired of the dogs. They just piss me off. And then there's this. Who has seen the Shriners commercial? Okay? Shriners commercial. They had this kid for years. His name is Alec Kabakunian. Alec has raised so much money for the Shriners. He's raised crazy amounts of money for the Shriners. Speaking of raising money for the Shriners, you can raise money for ASAP by texting 44321 ASAP. But Alec Kabakunian has raised so much money, they have named the basketball court at the Shriners Hospital for this kid. All right? He's been the cute kid forever. You know, he looks at you on television and he says, you can have this adorable blanket for only $20 a month. He's been saying that forever, and everybody's in love with him. And Alec is feeling awfully good about himself. And then puberty caught up with him. And Alec ain't quite so cute no more. So they went out and they got a new kid. The new kid's name is Caleb. Caleb is a shark. Caleb is the smartest little whip you have ever seen in your life. Caleb talks to the camera, looks right at the camera, his eyes twinkle, right? Hits his marks every time. He even wears a bow tie. I hate him. Because every time he's on television, I gotta write a check. Right? But Caleb goes through the entire thing and he looks at the camera, and at the end of it, at the end of his whole monologue, he looks right at the camera, smiles, tilts his little head and says, "Because we love you." Oh. Alec, on the other hand, is sitting there at the table, and he's got this little tear in his eye. You can see it. I mean, it's good. And he goes like, "Hey, buddy, that's right on." And inside his head, you know he's saying, "You little shit, I hate you." But that's just being selfish. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have given me your time, and I appreciate that. I want you all to have a great evening. Don't forget, ASAP, 44321. This is a great organization, does great things. Thank you so very much. I'm Kelsey Storr. You all have a great evening.
One more time for Kelsey, everybody. One more time. Love that guy. Your next performer, she is not actually a veteran, so probably funny, actually. No, but she's what we describe as military adjacent, meaning that she has stood next to somebody in the military. It's sort of our standards here. No, actually, she does a lot of work with ASAP. She's a stand-up instructor. She also runs the DC Writers Salon. She is so funny. She's a good friend of mine. Give it up for Miss Allie Cherry.
I think I was better at that than Kelsey. What do you guys think? Hi, everybody. You guys, my real name is Allie Cherry, but I'm not a porn star. Just like to clear that up right out of the gate. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It's so exciting to be here. I just turned 39. Thanks. I was like, is that something to celebrate? I don't know. I just turned 39. My mom gave me a ton of clothes for my birthday. She was like, I feel like it's time for you to stop dressing like a toddler. Stop shopping at Target Kids. And I was like, I feel like it's time for you to give me a present that I really want, like an arranged marriage. I just want you guys to know that I look like a toddler. So, and I also want you guys to know that I am single. So this is just a PSA announcement. You guys, it is a weird time, huh? Understatement of the century. You guys, this week, twice I overheard someone say, "Are you seeing anyone?" And then said, "No, I mean a therapist." You guys, you know what's really hot right now? Public push-ups. People, these confident humans just go out into this Logan Circle Park literally every day, just flaunting their high-functioning motivation. I was like, what the hell? I'm like eating corn pops for 5 meals a day. You don't see me out here with my box of cereal. Show off. What the hell? Last week, an ex-boyfriend from 10 years ago called me on the phone, and I was like, whoa. A lot of people are getting in touch with their exes right now. I was like, what does he want? Do we have a kid I don't know about? Noah asked me when I got here, he goes, how are you, Allie? And I was like, don't come at me with that. I don't think you're licensed to ask me that question. Are you prepared to handle it? You a therapist? I'm actually training to be a therapist. Which is weird to be like a comic and a therapist. Did someone clap? I think they were clapping about bocce, but whatever, you take the claps where you get them. But I'm training to be a therapist, and it's weird to be like a comic and a therapist, because like sort of opposites. You know what I mean? It's like listening, talking, laughing, crying, you know, mocking our parents, blaming our parents. It's sort of the same, actually. I love training to be a therapist. It's like kind of a weird time to be training to be a therapist. It's pretty hard because like I'm also in 2020. Clients come in and they're like, Allie, I'm really overwhelmed, feeling a little anxious, and I'm like, you're telling me while I have you here. I feel like learning to be a therapist and treat clients in 2020 is like trying to learn how to be a firefighter from inside a burning building. It's just like mad chaos. Everybody's like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. How do you feel about the fire? Do you want to just sit with your feelings for a little while? The building's like collapsing. I'm like, let's just see how this feels for a little while. Where do you feel it in your body? It's weird being a comic and a therapist, actually, also, because I want to be like, how's everyone feeling tonight? And I'm like, no, really, how are you? Oh my God, that's so hard. I actually love it's really a good time to be a therapist. Definitely solid career choice for me right now, to be honest with you. I think we're going to need a lot of it. I think everybody should do therapy. Clap if you guys are pro-therapy. You guys, if you're not pro-therapy by now in this year, November 2020, like you are my parents. Everybody should be on board with therapy right now. Everybody needs therapy because we are not learning adult emotional skills in school. Like I took 6 years of foreign language. I took 0 years of just adult human language. So I graduated with more words for colors in Spanish than feelings in English, which is only helpful if I feel azul. I'm like, ¿cómo se dice disappointed? You guys, As a comedic counselor, which is what I call myself as of this moment, I feel responsible, and I do this every time starting now, to leave you guys with some tips on like how to make your life better. So just pardon me while I put on my uniform. I feel like, do you guys take me more seriously now? Should I like zip up should I hide my Target Kids t-shirt? Okay, so you guys, the best part about doing comedy is you get the best like solutions to your life. So highly recommend it. You guys should all take the ASAP classes. I'll teach you how to make jokes. But anyway, okay, here's what I got. I have three ideas for you guys to feel better in 2020. Idea number 1, are you guys scrolling, like doom scrolling on social media and like feeling terrible about yourself? What the hell? Social media, ugh. But here's the thing, I figured out how to do it better. Everybody's posting their best life, including me. So when I feel bad about myself, I just scroll through my own pics. I'm like, oh my God, this lady is so fun and clever. Yeah, thank you. That guy's gonna do that. Fixing FOMO with narcissism, you guys. At least for that guy. So that's one idea I have for you. My second idea I have for you, what was my second idea? I have so many ideas. Hold on a sec. I swear I have an idea here. What do I have? Oh, this is such a good one. Thank God I checked my notes. Okay, you guys, how many of you guys are feeling overwhelmed with like life and all the to-do lists and all the shit that you have to do? Oops, potty word. All the stuff you have to do. Those people over there on that blanket. Okay, so here's the thing. I like have all these to-do lists all the time coming in my ears. I never feel like I can catch up. So now every time I make a to-do list, I write down a bunch of stuff I've already done. Yeah, like this morning I was like, ate cereal, obviously, first meal of 6. And then I said, I checked like the weather, and then I like thought about going for a walk. So turning to-do lists into to-done lists. You guys are welcome. It's another one. Here's my third tip for you guys. If you're sitting around and you have like a little bit of extra free time, or you're like thinking about your ex from 10 years ago, don't call them. Pull up the pictures of your former vacations with like people you don't like anymore, friends, family, exes, whatever. Take all those pictures out, and then with some little Photoshop magic, replace their face with a celebrity of your choosing. It's called Replace a Face, sponsored by Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. So basically, here's the best part about it. You guys can actually change your memory. So instead of like a fight at the Golden Gate Bridge, it's like, oh my God, I went to the Golden Gate Bridge with Matt Damon. Do you guys want to see what this looks like? You guys are like, this lady, first of all, likes therapy too much. Also, this is confirming she has way too much time on her hands. I ran this by folks over there. I was like, can you see this? They're like, not really. I was like, it's cool. I'll pass it around if you guys want to see my Photoshop skills. Now, obviously, you just have like a whole album full of me and my celebrity lovers. So that's what I got for you guys. You've been so fun. Have a great night.
One more time for Allie, everybody. One more time for so much fun. Guys, I just want to give you a quick update. So far throughout the show, from the show, you've raised $150 already. And if you were at the march earlier today, you'd count that as $150 million. So really, really impressive work. We got a couple more great performers for you tonight. Your next one, he is a 26-year Air Force veteran and a fan of the New England Patriots for some reason, which is weird given his name. Give it up for Mr. Vinny Lombardi.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I got 3 kids at home, so it's going to take me a second for this. I haven't quite learned that. So yeah, I'm a military veteran. I thank you. I say it again for the applause. But listen, I slid in. I joined in 1992. It was right after Desert Shield, Desert Storm, well ahead of 9/11, so the standards were a bit lower then. But when I joined, I knew that I got in by the skin of my teeth because I graduated 94th out of 95 students in high school. And that's because number 95 rarely showed up. He had a glue sniffing problem. So I basically ranked one position above the glue sniffer. So kudos to me. I will say though, when you join the military, you have 4 aptitude tests you have to take. They're called ASVABs. Take it in math, science, communication skills, and math. Each one's 125 points. I scored a total of 136. Yeah, I was proud of that. I was going to shop those scores around to the military branches, the 4 of them. Coast Guard had their 10-person quota, so they were full. Navy said, hey, you could join us, be a nuclear engineer, career field. It's like, that's strange. Army said, manage our battle systems. Even stranger. The Marines started to figure me out, though. They said, you can come join us as a mortar Marine. That sounded very similar to what I think ISIS does with their suicide bombers. I didn't think there was a whole lot of potential for growth there, so I moved on. The Air Force said, hey, come aim high with us as a cook. Yeah, so I did 26 years, Air Force, cook. Figured they knew me the best. So, of course, I didn't know the other jobs too well. So I started basic training, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, culinary school. I did 14 weeks of training to essentially say, would you like fries with that? I know, it's like I took a long road to get the same career a teenager would have at McDonald's. So, but it's not all that bad. I'm in my first post-military career. Guess who I work for? Number 95. I know it's him. He's got a bottle of Gorilla Glue sitting on his desk, and listen, that's the champagne of glues, so he's doing well for himself. There's a lot of benefits to being a vet, though, right? I mean, this is all about veterans, right? Give it up for the veterans. Let's hear it. Not just me, because I'm standing on a podium, but all of them. Now, veterans, we have a lot of benefits, but one that's not is our pharmacies. If you've ever experienced a military pharmacy, you will understand. It's very similar to a cattle ranch and a bingo hall. It's like, you got so many people in this place, and then all of a sudden your number gets called, you get real excited, then you get up to the front and realize you forgot one. So that's what it's like at pharmacies. The other day, true story, mine actually has a drive-through. It's like 20 people and 20 vehicles in line. So I said, that's going to be faster than going inside. So I sat in the drive-thru. Now, I sat in there for an hour. I got about 2 positions away, and an ambulance shows up at the front of the building. And the first thing I thought when I saw that ambulance is, why do bad things happen to me? Like, I mean, really. And it delayed things for a few minutes, and then about 10, 15 minutes later, somebody came out in a stretcher, and I thought, wow, she was inconsiderate. Does she know there's like 70 of us out here? She couldn't have fallen on off-duty hours. But anyway, any homeowners in the audience? Homeowners? There's a few of you, right? We moved here a few years. That's another benefit of the military is you can move anywhere in the world. We chose Washington, D.C. Like this insane traffic, tourists everywhere. And then also, like, you can have the anxiety and history, like, on the same park bench. So, like, right here. They run together. And also, houses are really expensive, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, they cost you a fortune. Even where I live, 20 miles south, they're expensive down there. I mean, it's like, hey, hon, we better keep up with the payments, or we're going to be down to 2 children. And we started with 4. So, any Walking Dead fans out here? No Walking Dead fans? Oh, okay, a couple, thank God. So every time I say this, there's somebody in the audience that's like, I don't even know what the show is. I'm like, I'm not keeping it on AMC. There's other people. But The Walking Dead is an awesome show, but I love watching it, but it scares the crap out of me. You might be thinking, why? Are you afraid of zombies or something like that? Is it because you can't outrun them, you fat ass? No, I sleep with a CPAP machine for sleep apnea. And I've yet to see anyone wake up on that show with like a face mask and a hose hanging off their head, like, what the hell just happened? Which means I don't think I'd be too successful. But I do wonder if that's what happened. Like the apocalypse occurred, a bunch of people were on sleep apnea, like on the machines when the power went out, and they just kind of sat up, and now they're all the Walking Dead. No, that didn't make sense. Okay, good. Let's just move on. Okay, what else was I going to talk about? All right. I'm going to end with this one. Technology. We love technology. We all have technology. As a matter of fact, you guys are paying more attention to the phone than me because you love your technology. I'm just kidding. I know you're paying attention. But the other day I was on a webcam Zoom call with a buddy of mine, and all of a sudden my phone alerted me that my truck moved. I thought, well, that's weird. I'm sitting in my kitchen on Wi-Fi. Clearly, I did not move my truck. So I went and I found my security camera app, and I went so I can look through my video camera out into my driveway, see what's going on. I did that instead of walking 8 feet to physically look out the driveway, right? Like, I have a very nice truck in the driveway, and I choose to get answers on my phone instead of getting my ass up. It turned out my son was moving his vehicle in the driveway, moved mine out. No big deal. I just yelled at him through the doorbell. It's not that strange a story, though, because have you ever tried explaining a story like this to our greatest generation? Like my grandfather the other day, he said, so grandson, let me get this straight. Your phone told you your truck moved, so you verified with your doorbell? You been doing drugs? I was like, no, Pops, I haven't been doing drugs. Maybe the fumes from the glue. Please give Grandma a kiss from me, and that is my time. Thank you all so very much.
One more time for Vinny, everybody. One more time for him. Guys, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that this will be the last time I come up tonight. Okay, that isn't bad news, apparently. That's really sweet. I thought we had something going on here. That's fine. That's fine. But the good news is that you have raised over $500 throughout this show right now. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves. And the even better news is that your final performer of the evening, he's amazing. He is an Army veteran. He looks a little bit taller on TV, but he is 99% dishwasher safe. Give it up for Mr. Adam Keys.
Well, that's the whole show, guys. Just me walking out here. That's it. That's the whole thing. All right, all right, all right. Well, let me just set the record straight, everybody. No, I am not Lieutenant Dan. It's not me, folks. It's not me. I had to one-up Lieutenant Dan, guys. I had to. I couldn't let him have all the glory, you know. Still waiting on that movie deal. It'll come. It'll come. Plus, Lieutenant Dan's a much better-looking guy than I am, you know. I mean, I'm an all-right-looking guy, if you can get past the wheelchair and the prosthetics and whatnot, you know. But I'm definitely an old-school guy. Meaning, if we go out on a date and we get to the restaurant, I am 100% going to open the door for you. Provided that little button's working, you know? That little button ain't working, we ain't going in. And that could be ruined by a malfunctioning button just like that. It's crazy. It's a crazy life that I have. Believe it or not, though, I do meet and date beautiful women, and I am just as shocked as all of you are. I am just as shocked. Although I'm convinced that these women are only dating me and having sex with me because they want to win the game. Never have I ever. I'm convinced. They want to win. They will win. Ultimately, right? Ultimately, what they want is the triple AM stamp. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. And I'm happy to validate, ladies. I am happy to validate. Yeah, well, hold there for a second. That was good. Imagine if that catches on, guys. You know, all of a sudden you start seeing a picture of me, either wrapped in like a floral arrangement or a tribal arrangement, tattooed on these girls' lower back all around town. I mean, the tramp stamp is gone, but the triple AM stamp is up for grabs, everybody. Let's do it. So I am single. Yeah, you can laugh at that. And I turned 36 during the pandemic. And, you know, leading up to my birthday was back in March. My family and friends were constantly saying to me, you know, Adam, turning 36 and being single could feel very isolating. But, oh, my God. Oh, my God, everybody. If I had known it was going to be like this, I would have lowered my standards. Like, down to 0. It's at the point right now, guys, that I would go on a date with Carol fucking Baskin, okay? It would happen. I had to curse her. It had to happen. It flows out sometimes. It has to. Oh, she killed her husband. Anyway, we're moving forward now. So on the off chance that there are some single ladies here tonight, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Adam Keys, and I was born and raised in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Now that's in Canada. And I have to say Canada there, because if I just said Nova Scotia, everybody thinks it's like a far-off, distant land, like it's Narnia or something like that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it's just right up by Maine. It's not even that far, guys. Just chill out, you know? But usually when I tell a new group of friends or people that I just met that I'm an immigrant, there's always one in the group that'll come out and say, well, if you're an immigrant, what race are you then? Which is a weird question, and pretty rude if you ask me, because I thought it was obvious, you know? So I tell him, well, my mother's white and my father's RoboCop, you know? My dad is tough like that, but I'm not fooling anybody, guys. I'm much more like Inspector Gadget, okay? I know that, and that's okay. And as I'm just saying it here, too, I think I should have a conversation with my mom, because maybe before Inspector Gadget became an inspector, he might have been like Milkman Gadget. They might have had a thing back in the day, you know? So that could have happened. Anyway, go Gadget comedy, right? I think I got one more for you guys. In my situation, you know, being on prosthetics and being in a wheelchair, oftentimes when I go out in public, people stare, people look, and oftentimes they want to ask questions, you know, and that's okay. I try to be accommodating, you know. But every so often, you know, I'm not really in the mood and you get a weird question. I'm going to give you an example here about this. About a month ago, I went to Home Depot, and I see this older guy. He's got to be 75 or 80. I mean, he's up there. I see him keep looking, so I'm mentally getting ready for what he's about to say. He's going to ask a question I know. I'm just getting ready for it, you know. He comes a little closer. I got to give it to him. He kept his face mask on. He kept his distance, so that's good, right? But it also meant he had to talk quite a bit louder, so a lot more people could hear what he had to say, which also made it weird, I think. And all of a sudden, he just says, "Are you a vet?" And I'm like, "Duh, I'm Lieutenant freaking Dan. I thought we already knew that, guys. I thought we already knew that, you know?" No, he said, "Are you a vet?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he immediately goes to this question, everybody. And I don't know if he had this question ready or if it just popped into his head. I don't know. But he leans into me and he says, "Well, what do you think of that Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during our national anthem?" And I'm like, God damn, is this really happening right now? I mean, I just came to get some light bulbs today, you know? So I looked up to the guy and I said, "Sir, are you visually impaired?" And he starts shaking his head no. And I said, "'Cause I would love to take a knee right now, sir. I would do anything to take a knee right now, sir. I think that Colin Kaepernick's just showing off over there. But I am jealous." Guys, my name's Adam Keys. Thank you so much for coming out.
Everybody give it up for Adam. And let's hear it for yourselves, everybody. You've been a great audience. Let's hear it. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We had a great show with you guys. You contributed more than $600 so far to the What's Next campaign, and we really, sincerely, deeply appreciate it. If you want to scan that QR code on the back of your little card that you received today, you can still make a donation. We would love that. If you had a good time, please do make a donation before you head out today. If you are live streaming and you are watching us, thank you so much for tuning in. We're so glad that you enjoyed the show. You can give it the link that is included in the description on any of the pages where you're watching. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out. If you are a veteran, service member, military family member, or caregiver, we would love for you to take our classes. They are all free, and they always will be. asap.org. Thank you so much for coming out. That's our show. Have a great night. Thank you.